Welcome, everybody. Episode 101 of the DOD-Cast. Today I have with me John Linger. Linger or Linger?
I do linger, but
Linger.
Either way gets the point across.
Lingering's like a verb, though.
Yeah, I'm
it's
here to
like,
stay, man.
I'm lingering. I'm
here to
lingering
stay.
around.
I'm not going anywhere.
The owner and the founder of
And
MASTR.Productions.
lead engineer.
Yeah.
But
You're
I'm
the
everything.
guy.
I'm the guy.
You're the guy for MASTR.Productions.
Chief Marketing Officer for MASTR.Productions.
CMO. That's wonderful. Are you
Any
the
kind
CFO?
of three-letter abbreviation, that's probably me in MASTR.Productions.
That's awesome. I'm all that for the DOD-Cast
Exactly.
too. So me and you, we're like those guys. This is a
Yep.
meeting of the minds, meeting of power right now. For anyone that's watching, you're welcome for even having this happen.
Pretty much a board meeting.
Yeah, it's a board meeting of
yeah.
control and power. That's what it is.
Exactly.
So today, we're gonna get into what MASTR.Productions is. We're gonna talk about music. We're gonna talk about mixing. We're gonna talk about all the fun and interesting stuff. And I'm really excited to talk about that. We're also going to have some segments happen today. I didn't explain last time. I just kind of was like, did the normal interview, and then did segments at the end.
Turning it into a game show.
This is going to be fun. I want it to be like Jimmy Fallon on steroids, like way funnier and like way longer.
Prizes, raffles.
Yeah, dude. I might just give out $4,000 today.
You get a car. You get a car.
Look, check under your seat. Car.
Yep.
That'll be fun. So, yeah, I think we're going to start out actually with a segment called Questions Without Reasons, without a reason. And basically, I just give a question, and the question means nothing. It has zero stakes.
Okay. It's
just something that I thought of. Stuff that I feel like most conversations consist of, at least amongst you and your friends, people at home, you and your friends. I'm sure you've had these conversations. So, yeah, maybe not this one. So, a long time ago, I heard a story that a friend of mine told. So I'm not gonna name names, but a friend of mine told me the story that someone with a lot of money was asked by their sibling to pay for their fiance's boob job. Right. Okay. So are you with me?
I think so.
Guy paid for brother's.
Yep.
No, well, I guess.
Okay.
Sister-in-law's.
Got it.
Boob job.
I follow.
Because he had a lot of money.
Okay.
I actually don't know if he went through with it, but I know he was asked that.
Okay.
To pay that. I don't forget where I heard it.
It's a real story?
I forget where I heard it, but this is a real story.
A real made-up parable?
It might be a real thing. It might be a real, like if someone looked it up, it might be like a celebrity thing.
Okay.
For all I know. I'm pretty sure, I definitely heard this in real life though. So, let's say you were well endowed with a lot of money.
Okay.
You might be for all I know. Who knows? But
not.
let's just, but let's say you were.
Okay.
And you have a brother?
Yeah.
And he asked you, with the money that you had just come into, to pay for his fiance's boob job.
Okay.
You gonna do it?
Probably not.
Why?
I mean, that's a good question.
It is.
It's a very character-revealing question. I like that you picked
I like
it.
characters.
I wouldn't do it just because I personally don't see that much value in a boob job.
In a boob job?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
You know what I'm saying?
This is not the way I would have
I'm
taken
down to throw down on an investment that I think would genuinely benefit somebody's personal situation.
like an ass job.
Fucking dead. Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
cool.
Oh, please.
Yeah, no, ass job, no, I'm good. No. In general, body alterations, I'm not really into it. I have no tattoos, no piercings. Not really into that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So for you, a body alteration of that sort.
I don't think a boob job makes somebody that much more attractive, to be honest. Like, I think it's like a step backwards.
Right.
Even like if it looks good, like you can always tell, dude. You know?
It's true. I think,
a keen eye can always tell. You know?
It's like, that's really stiff. It's moving, but it's stiff.
It's about the connection to the upper body, like
Yeah,
the shoulder. There's something going on there.
Yeah, you can
I
tell.
don't know what
right
it
away.
is. Yeah,
It's
you
true.
can tell.
So I feel like that, as you were saying, it's very character revealing. So I feel like with your money, not that you're not generous. It has nothing to do with your generosity.
It's just not worth. Let's pick something else.
It needs to make
instead of
sense
a boob
to you.
job. Yeah.
Okay, and so like it's not so much just like, oh, but that's what they want, and if that's what they want and love, then I will want and love it with them.
No, I would be more likely to pay for a group vacation, or like pay for their wedding or something. You know what I'm saying? If I was rich and wealthy and they were asking me for money, if they're asking me for money, first of all, I don't think they should be investing in boob jobs. If they're asking for money,
if you can't afford a boob job,
their
you shouldn't
priorities
get a
are
boob
not
job.
in line.
True.
You know?
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Because when you first answered the question, you said like maybe an investment.
An investment,
but
for
like
sure.
then you also started adding like experience too. So their happiness and love and fun is also a priority to you.
For sure.
See, I'm analyzing you as we speak.
You should.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What one question can do.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I feel like it's interesting, like experiences, an investment, positive outcomes.
Well, an experience, if I were to do a group vacation, that's an investment in time together. You know what I'm saying?
How valuable is that to you?
It's everything, personally.
Hence why you kind of took yourself out west, I assume.
Yeah. And just like why I don't like work an actual job. You know? Like my time is super valuable. I'm not going to sacrifice even a few hours doing some shit I really don't want to do.
Yeah.
I would rather make half the money and do what I love doing because I'm not even working at that point.
Right. So
like I know that's super cliche to say, but
true.
like it's so true, dude.
So let's pivot from boob jobs to your work.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing. No, let's pivot from boob jobs to your work.
That'd be a good word.
Well, it's making things prettier, really. You know, like
it is. That is my job. Yeah, I'm an audio boob jobologist.
Boob jobologist. So I feel like, first of all, just explain, I guess, quickly better than me what you do.
So, I'm going to give you the mission statement of MASTR.Productions.
Oh, great! You have one.
I do. It's remained the same for the past 8 years.
I don't even have one.
You need one.
I gotta get one.
Because in those times of doubt where you're like, what am I really doing right now? Or you got to fall back on the mission statement. The mission statement for MASTR.Productions is to make the most music with the most amount of people at the highest quality in the most comfortable environment.
Wow. That's a
As long as you're doing those, you're chilling. No matter if I'm on the East Coast, West Coast, remote. I have all kinds of like clients who send me their stems and they send the beat and I just run it through my equipment. I do my thing. I send it back. It's high quality. I'm making mad music with mad people because there's no bounds of like, oh, you're 3 hours away. Yeah, I'm not going to link up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
it all links back to the mission. It's pretty valuable. And the last part of the mission I think is the most important. It has to be a comfortable environment. Not always the nicest environment.
Yeah, what does that entail?
It depends. It depends who you are and what you consider a comfortable environment. For me, the way I make the studio a comfortable environment is I try not to be like an intimidating person. Like you said off rip, like, damn, you're like taller than I expected. That's something I don't take into like account all the time. Is like I tower over people. It can be kind of intimidating, I would imagine. Sure. Something I don't really think about all the time. But I try to make it like comfy, like my home. Like a lot of my studios have been in my home. So it's like kind of like a my house is your house type thing. Like I never have had to enforce rules. Like, oh, you clean up after yourself, blah, blah, blah. It's more just like, if you're the type of person who appreciates the space that I'm providing, it's going to be a no-brainer. You're going to pick up after yourself. You're going to not break stuff. Like, you're not going to bring hooligans to my studio. You know what I'm saying? You're going to bring serious people who are going to, like, accept, like, okay, the main goal is to record music. The second goal is to, like, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, like, so far, in the 8 years, nobody's broken anything. Nobody's stolen anything. Nobody's done some dumb shit. Nobody's spilled a drink on my mics or anything. Like, and it's because the culture is like, they pull up, we might smoke. If you drink, just don't make a mess. Don't be an idiot and like go out in the freaking neighbor's yard and start yelling. Like, as long as everybody's on the same page there, we're chilling.
Yeah, studio sessions got a lot of there's like a lot of like lore to it. It's like having a studio session. It's more than just recorded music, honestly. It's a whole like
it's almost like a seance. Like you're trying to like conjure up like some kind of muse that you're channeling through the mic in some kind of like just pattern that everybody can understand.
So why is that what you love? Like, how did you get to this point instead of like
I had no choice, dude.
And stuff like
I have no choice. I started music when I was 5.
Really?
Yep. I did piano lessons from this lady down the street. Her name was Mrs. Banville. Oh, wow. She had like one arm. She was crazy talented.
With one arm?
Nicest lady. Yeah, she had one arm. She must have had a stroke or something. But like she only had one arm. She could play both hands like back and forth like crazy. I was like, whoa. And she was a great teacher. But that's where I started my music journey. Then I picked up the sax in elementary school. You know how like 4th grade they let you pick an instrument?
Yeah, we didn't have sax as an option, but that's
Really?
sick. I wish we had sax. We had like recorders, a lot of like woodwinds, and then I think you could do. There was like guitar. And piano.
I wanted to do guitar. We didn't have guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
But they had sax.
We had like clarinet, flute, sax, trumpet.
Yeah, the one like woodwind I think we didn't have was like is it a woodwind, the sax?
Yeah, yeah.
Brass.
Yeah, you should have drafted me. No, it's a woodwind. Yeah.
Oh, good for me.
You nailed it.
I remember a little bit.
You nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yep. Yeah. So then I transferred from the alto sax to the tenor sax. I brought the tenor sax all through college. So I went to school for like jazz performance and all like the shit that I never use anymore. So that was a good investment at the time.
Hey, you make
Glad I did
you
that.
make connections.
Well, I can find the key of any song in like 0.5 seconds now. So I guess that's good. Pretty much. If I have like any kind of reference key, like you play a song, as long as you give me like, okay, this is an A, what is the song in? It's pretty fucking cool. Like,
really
easy. Yeah, it's pretty.
See, that's like that's just part of the stuff that comes with experience that like you could never replicate. You couldn't just like be born. I mean, I guess some people are born with like perfect pitch, right?
I'm calling cap.
You think so? Some people.
I mean, perfect pitch is like I have perfect relative pitch. Like, if I listen to the same chime every day, I could know. Like, let's say I had an alarm clock, right?
Yeah.
And every day it spit out like A 440 hertz, just standardized A tuning, right? Mm-hmm. I could go about my day just like pull up that sound you know what I'm saying? You know the sound of your alarm clock. You know like the notes, right?
Yep.
As long as you have that, you can kind of figure out like, okay, if that's A, one whole step up from that would be B. Oh, that matches that song. Like, you can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But as far as like perfect pitch, like some 3-year-old kid comes out and he's just like, oh yeah, I know that song is in D major, right? And he plays all the shit, bro. That is internet like sensationalization at its best. Like, that kid has been practicing against his will probably for like 5 years straight. Like,
you think so?
Yes.
Well, not in like any offensive way, but there's some like autism, the spectrum, all of those things like savant.
We still have to focus
tendencies.
and like learn, bro. Like you have to learn what the steps of the piano are.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the minimum. But like you could learn that. I feel like not in like an afternoon, but like you could learn that pretty quickly.
Right. What I'm saying is you have to like understand the relationship of like the notes in order to have like perfect pitch. Like you can't just be born with like all the knowledge of Beethoven, like off rip, like just.
It is interesting though.
You know what I'm saying?
Some people have like these weird talents. Like, have you ever seen the guy? There was this. He was autistic. He was like they call him like a savant, like a memory. He's like perfect memory. They flew him over like New York City.
See, perfect memory makes sense.
And then he drew like.
Yes, I did see that. To
scale the perfect. And like that, like obviously perfect memory, I think makes a little more sense in our minds. Like it just makes sense to us. But if you can do that, like why not be able to have perfect pitch? You know.
Yes, 100%. I think you can have perfect pitch.
Which is crazy.
Perfect pitch in itself is not a fallacy. That's not what I was suggesting.
Okay.
Like, just the fact that like you can know it without ever studying it, I think is cap. Like you can have a really good memory, learn it really quick, and like off rip, just like once you learn it a couple times, you learn the notes of everything. You're just like, oh, that's a G. Oh, that's an A. Oh, that's a C. Like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Not Ed Sheeran. Charlie Puth.
Charlie Puth. Yeah.
He's like well known for that at this point, just being in the media doing that. Yeah.
Just to be like, that's a G, then that's an A. I'm like, what the hell is up with you? Like, it's just crazy. But like, that's just what it comes with. Like, I know he's like, I think he was like not a child star, but I think he was doing exactly what you were saying. It's
probably
super manipulated, like into like making sure that he knew everything, and he had like that tendency to just fall in love with it, I guess. But he was like working endlessly on like figuring out these.
He's
notes.
also a big like actual piano player. Too,
yeah,
so,
very
like,
good piano player.
After like learning thousands of songs, it's like, oh, this is the same key as this song. I know that one's in C, so like this one's in C. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So for people that like, obviously mixing is like a very confusing thing.
Yeah.
But
my grandma has no idea what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, that makes sense.
She asks me like every year, just like, no, what is that again?
And you're like, it's Christmas. Can we just?
It's magic.
It's magic. Yeah. It's it feels that way sometimes. It changes the entire outlook of a song. But what are some songs out there that you love that you've worked on, so that people, even if you don't know what mixing is, they can just go listen and like know what's up, like
songs that I love that I've worked on.
That you've worked on,
I mean, you could always look up my song Daredevil with Stellar. That's
Daredevil with Stellar.
By far my biggest song.
Okay.
It's approaching 20 million plays on Spotify right now.
Jesus Cristo.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a banger.
That's a banger.
A banger.
It's a Linger banger.
Yeah, that one we cooked up in my living room.
Really?
And yeah, Stellar's most known for his hit TikTok song called Ashes.
Yeah.
That song has, I think, 230 million plays on Spotify.
Holy moly.
That's just Spotify, dude.
That's
Not counting
the thing
YouTube.
People got to remember. Like, if you see the numbers on Spotify, like, you know, Ed Sheeran, billion, he's got like 5+ songs with 1 billion+ streams.
Yep.
That's just Spotify.
One platform.
Can you see it on Apple Music? Do we know? I don't know that. I don't have Apple
probably
Music.
Can from the back end.
But like not like it's
like
not like it doesn't show like in like
yeah,
Spotify.
it doesn't like flex it for you publicly. You know what I'm saying?
Like Ed Sheeran's songs probably got over 5 billion streams, and
I think you're shorting it, dude. Ed Sheeran, bro, his shit probably has like 20 billion streams.
Like across all platforms.
Like each song, no, just on Spotify probably. If I had to guess.
No. For one song.
If I had to guess, probably.
No, am I bugging? No. Maybe I'm bugging though.
I think, bro, he's the most played. Like no bullshit.
I know he's really huge. I wish I had a Wi-Fi out here. I'd pull it up right now.
Oh word, dude, we need like a Jamie. You know,
dude.
You know,
hey, Jamie, can you pull that up? Hey, Jamie, pull up Ed Sheeran stream.
I was gonna look it up, but I just don't even want to look at my phone right now, dude.
No,
I don't want to look at my phone.
Yeah, no one wants to look at it. Look at this.
Hate looking at.
This is the best part of my podcast. I have both your phone and your phone right now.
Yep.
So that's the best part is that I get to put my phone down for an hour and a half and just talk to somebody because people don't do that anymore.
I'm a big fan of the long form like chat. Like even if I got on CNBC, right, and they're like, "Oh, come for an interview," I'm probably gonna get realistically like 2 minutes of mic time, maybe.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be all boiled down to these specific questions that support their angle on some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the podcast, even if you tried to corner me into some position, right? I have an hour to dig myself out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a completely different beast, and I fuck with it heavy.
Yeah, at least, and like some places, like the Joe Rogan Experience, he gives cats 4 hours.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell? But like,
I listen to the whole thing.
So
too,
do
like
I.
Sicko.
You can just split it up. Like,
yeah,
that's what my biggest pet peeve with people that are like, oh, the Joe Rogan podcast is long. I'm like, all right, just don't listen to it all at once.
Yeah. Chip away at it.
Is that crazy?
Dude, you seen the ones he has with like the Navy and the Air Force dudes who've seen aliens and shit?
Oh, David Fravor. You ever seen one? David Favor's the one that I love.
Yeah, the guy who's like a pilot and he saw it on the radar and shit.
He's like, I saw it uphill going around and he
Yep.
was going at speeds I've never seen before. He was those are crazy.
I can only hope that I see some kind of shit that's flying around with my own bare eyes.
Yeah.
That I can just say like, I have definitively seen a fucking UFO. Because no matter who tells me, I'll never believe it. Like, I have to see it with my own eyes.
Do you believe in the aliens?
I'm going to need a clarification before I answer.
I'm going to say...
Do I believe in aliens on Earth?
Aliens... I'm going to need to...
Yeah.
So... Obviously, I feel like to say there's no other life form in the universe. There. Like, there's somewhere.
Yeah.
Something somewhere.
There has to be.
So that's almost like
scary
a given.
thing,
That's
right?
almost like a given.
Yeah.
But, like, do you think that maybe any of the sightings, any of the evidence, any of it, any one bit that they've come in contact with us in some way
I think we all want to believe that there has been, right? And I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying there isn't. The thing that I've been contemplating lately, for everything, not just alien shit, but the alien shit kind of got me thinking on this path, was no matter what you hear, you have to consider the financial motivation behind it. Or not the financial motivation, but the...
What's to gain, just in general? Like...
Yeah, dude, because, like, think about this. Let's say you work for NASA, right? And they're like, dude, we'll give you $2 billion. You just go to Mars. Just make it happen. The budget's $2 billion, right? And you go home, you stew on it for a week, and you're like, motherfucker, I could just go to Rialto out in the freaking desert for like 11 grand, probably fake that we went to Mars, right? CGI, the whole thing of like, oh, we took off. Like, yeah, actually launch a rocket into the Bermuda Triangle. Do that. then cut the feed, and the rest is Hollywood. Probably going to cost around $20,000. The rocket, that's probably going to be a couple mil.
But you
have $2 billion on the table, bro. The financial incentive is ridiculous. You could never even spend all that money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's what happened, but you have to at least consider.
I think that's a big issue with what we got going on today with a lot of things. It's like people don't even want to consider it. It's like considering it is like basically like saying it didn't happen, but that's not what that is.
It's just, not.
If you're not questioning anything, then how
do you really know?
How do we really know about because then let's say 90% of the stuff we question ends up being true. It's like, okay, that's no harm, no foul.
No
it's
harm,
true
no
anyway.
foul, yeah. And you learned some shit along the way, probably.
Right. Another 10% got them because they were trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Yep.
But no one wants to ask those questions.
I mean, dude, if someone was like, hey, I'll give you $1 million a year if you work for me, 2-year contract, I'm going to have to see some money first. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to know, like, that you can even afford that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So why would I, like, trust the same logic of, like, no, we landed on the moon. Like, okay, it looks like you went up on a cardboard box that's, like, wrapped in aluminum foil. Like, no bullshit. Have you seen
I've seen all the moon stuff, yeah. I mean, here's what I think, though, too. Here's what I think. I think they went. I think they were there.
And the evidence got destroyed?
And I don't even know if they were able to do it. If they were able to record evidence up there. I think they were like, all right, well, we're not going to be able to fucking get anything.
Because it's on magnetic tapes, right?
Yeah, so they're not going to be able to get anything. So they knew, and the scientists knew that, but they knew that they couldn't go up there and just tell everybody. Because talk about, like, distrust. Like, you know, like, people, like, what are you going to do? Like, yeah, we went. It's like, with what evidence? Like, the whole point was to show it, market it as us being, like, the superpower that made it. And then they just recorded the shit here. And honestly, I'm right with it. It's like, I'm kind of okay with it, like, me being a guy that does some stuff like this.
Me too, but, like, at the same time, we should be out there. Like, not even just, like, as the U.S., just, like, flexing, like, oh, yeah, we went to the moon. Like, I personally think we should be seeding these other planets. Instead of, like, looking for life where it's not. It's definitely not, bro. No, nothing's living on frickin' Mars or Mercury or Venus, right? But stuff could live there. I think if we sent out capsules of, like, bugs, bacteria, maybe, like, rodents or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And just send a capsule, all different planets. Like, that's at least some insurance in case we get fucked up by an asteroid.
Yeah, there's some repercussions that need to start being laid down, or some
safety measures, some insurance.
Some insurance
in case we blow up one of our nuclear reactors or something.
Yeah, because that could just happen.
It could.
Know? I've seen like this one thing. I forget exactly what it was. What like the conspiracy was. Maybe it might even be conspiracy.
I love conspiracies, dude.
This might just be true. I don't even know. But I know that there was just one, I think it was the U.S., they were, like, detonating bombs.
Okay.
They were, like, shooting up and detonating bombs, just, like, testing or whatever.
Just dicking around, being
idiots. And I guess that one was shot up at, like, a certain level of the atmosphere that if it ignited, it would have blew up the entire planet.
Just, like, ignited the ozone or
because
something like
that? Maybe, like, a nitrogen level or something like that.
Okay.
Like, if it got up to a certain rank and blew up at a certain level and then blew up, it would have just incinerated the entire Earth. And I guess, like, they were just messing around and didn't think of it. And they were just doing it and getting lucky that it wasn't happening. And then...
Maybe that's what happened to Mercury.
I gotta look into this shit. See...
You know? Because I was thinking...
Now I'm in. That's definitely what happened to Mercury.
Like, maybe Venus is an old Earth. Ready? And hear me out.
Yep. No, I'm with you now. I'm already in.
Let's say we're on Earth today, right? And we fucked up the ozone, or we fucked up our atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
And the way to fix it is we fly. I'm super into conspiracies.
So am I.
I don't believe them all, but I think it's hilarious and fun to go along with it. So let's say chemtrails, right?
Chemtrails.
You know about chemtrails.
Yes,
everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they're for our own good. They protect us. But no government would come out and say, like, hey, we're going to be spraying everybody with XYZ chemicals, right? But if we don't do it, everybody's going to get cancer and die in 10 years. Like, skin cancer, just burn up. So we have to do it. The thing is, if we stop doing it, we're fucked. And if we keep doing it, we end up like Venus. Because Venus is, like, it has too much atmosphere. So you send shit there, it gets crushed. And, like, the gravity goes crazy, right? I think. I've never been there, but I think that's
I haven't been there either.
The theme.
To Venus yet.
Yeah.
That's next on the list.
I think that's...
Maybe like there, then like Dubai.
So I think it's possible that maybe Venus was an original Earth that after so much like pollution and like, you know what I'm saying? It just like developed into an unlivable like 400 degree Fahrenheit oven.
Is it the ozone there that's like...
I don't know. I think it's like a super thick atmosphere.
It's just super thick.
And and it's I think, isn't it closer to the sun?
Venus, yes. I
think
it's
so.
like...
The second one, I think.
Is it the second one? Does it go my very...
Either way, Mercury, it's my very something.
Mercury,
so
Venus, Mars, my very like malicious.
Excellent mother.
Oh, excellent mother. Oh, yeah, Earth, Mars.
Yeah, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
You know what's messed me up?
I always thought
Mercury, Mars.
Dude, I know. I always thought Mars was like closer to the sun.
I think because we envision it being red and like hot.
Yeah.
But it's just because they have less atmosphere, I assume. Is it even hotter? Is it even hotter? What do I know?
I have no idea. And if I told you, would you believe me?
What's school for, even? Like, seriously.
Dude,
what do we learn there?
Not making money. Tell you that. They don't teach you shit about making money.
Yeah. That's actually a good question for you. So, as someone that, like, is doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's not like you had this, you know, a lot of people that we see doing what they want to do out there in the world, it's because they lucked into something. And, like...
Good amount of luck.
They just get blessed with, like, you know, like who's someone like Chris Pratt was serving. He was a busboy, serving.
Oh, okay.
And then he went to the table and he was taking someone's order and they said, you got to be a movie star. And they brought him some audition and like he got a huge role and then from there on in he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I was just pursuing my dream. Like, dude, you just got lucky. You got lucky.
Yeah, no bullshit.
As someone like you who like obviously there's luck involved in everyone's life, but like someone that didn't have like a crazy break, you just kind of working.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you do that and like manage your money and stuff like that?
So, I got into it basically off a rock bottom bounce. Like, I was at a point in my life where I remember thinking to myself, this is rock bottom. Like, I can't get any lower than this. Like, I was living at my parents' crib. I had just broken up with my girlfriend of the time. I had no job. I graduated college. Didn't have, like, a leg into, like, a crazy job. Like, I had my degree, and I had, like, $4,000. And I was like, I don't even know what I want to fucking do. So I was working. I was a manager at Trader Joe's, and I hit my head on the freezer like mad times that day. I was like, "Fuck that, I'm out." Right that day, I was just like, "I don't care what the repercussions are. I'm done banging my head on the goddamn freezer." Right? So I dipped out and I said, "What am I gonna do with my life?" I started I was a waiter, right, and that was really when I was like, "Yeah, this is rock bottom." Like I'm literally serving pizzas as a college graduate. I'm fucking 22, 23 years old. Like, this is sad. Because, like, I thought I was on a good path, and then it was like, crash and burn.
Can happen, yeah.
It can definitely happen. It could happen to me tomorrow. I don't fucking know. You know? So that's why I have to appreciate today.
Yeah.
So, when I was at rock bottom, I was like, okay, well, now is the time to pivot. You know? So, my buddy Pat would come over, and he would start like just like rapping on my beats that I was making, because I was making beats for my brother. The reason I moved back, I was in New York at the time. I moved back to Boston. My brother made like a demo on like GarageBand or something. It was like a John Mayer cover. And I was like, dude, this is actually pretty fucking good.
That's dope.
And I was the one who's the music major. Like he was like a business dude. And I was like, dude, that sounds lit. And you just recorded it in your room? And he was like, yeah, dude. You're just dicking around. You put some drums on there. I was like, dude, you play drums? He's like, no, dude, I use fucking software.
It's fucking drums.
Weenie. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm so out of the loop.
I'm out of touch.
And that's when I realized, like, okay, I've been going down this, like, educational path, which is cool. It's great. I learned so much. But it's like there's this whole other path that's like, okay, if you really want to do this, this is what you have to be doing. Like, if you want to know everything, you can go this way. But if you want to, like, do stuff, you should be playing in bands and meeting with musicians, not studying papers of pianists from 1,200 years ago.
Music theory and shit like that.
Bro, it's all great stuff, but you're not actually doing anything. You're just spinning your dick around. Like, you're not doing anything. You're just fucking around. Like, listening to other people make music instead of, like, making your own music and, like, meeting the people that are going to get written about. You know?
Yeah, and honestly, just I feel like the biggest thing is you're not like, if you're learning stuff, it's great to like learn and keep learning, whatever.
Yeah.
But like you're never making mistakes.
Exactly.
So like that's the problem. Like,
Yeah, you don't even know how well you really know it until you put it to the test.
Yeah, you're not making mistakes. You're not making progress.
Nobody's challenging you.
Right.
Nobody's like, dude, that fucking sounds like shit. Like, what I'm doing is way better. And you're just like, oh, this is what this guy did, so this must be the best.
It's like Beethoven, actually.
Yeah, Beethoven didn't have Ableton, buddy. Beethoven didn't have Pro Tools and like FKI drum kits from Splice. That shit goes hard, you know.
Beethoven wasn't like this. You know?
Dude, he wasn't chopping up samples.
Yeah, he wishes.
I'll be straight up. I graduated before I ever set foot in a studio.
Really?
Which is sad. Like, how can that even be a thing?
That is crazy. You'd think that they'd put you in one at some point.
It makes sense at all. So that's why I had to like re-examine everything. And I was just like, dude, fuck it. I'm gonna go see what my brother Daniel's on. I went back home. He showed me like what he was doing with Pro Tools. I was like, that's pretty sweet. I didn't know anybody though. I didn't know any rappers or anything. So when I was at rock bottom, Pizza Shop Johnny, I freaking just started making beats. I didn't even want to be like a mix engineer. I just wanted to make beats for my brother. I was pretty bad, so he didn't hit any of the beats. But I would post shit on IG like, oh, Boston Studio, hashtag Boston Studio. Like,
Yeah.
And eventually I got a couple people hit me up like, yo, what's the word? How much you charging? I was like, dude, honestly, I don't even have speakers yet, so whatever you want to throw is cool with me. Just, I'll take the day off from serving pizza. I'll forfeit my $80 check or whatever I was getting per day.
Yeah.
And we'll lock in. And then sooner or later, that was my boy Young Zoe. Young Zoe hit me up on IG, and I guess he was rocking with it, because the next day he hit me up like, bro, can I bring some people through? Before you know it, it was 4 people in there. Then it was like 12 people all in my little bedroom, bro. Just like all smoking blunts. Like, bro, my landlord, my buddy who I worked with at Trader Joe's, had no idea what was going on. He's in the like downstairs watching wrestling. And he was mad cool. He was like, yeah, dude, just like, I see what you're doing with the studio. Just go crazy. But he, bro, it was like a completely different world. Just like coming into our like home, and it was lit. But yeah, dude, as soon as I could make like $80 a day, I was out of the pizza shit. Because that was rock bottom, bro. Because I was doing something I didn't want to do, making way less money than I thought I was worth, not being creative at all, and just wasting time. So I was like, yo, let's pivot right now. Let's offer ridiculous deals for studio. $10 an hour. Come through.
Yeah?
If you do 10 hours, I'll give you a deal. It would be even less than you thought. Whatever. Just come through, please. Just don't make me go serve pizza.
Yeah,
you know
just
what I'm
be
saying?
here, please.
Yeah, for real. So
you're also there for the studio time as well? Like, it's like you're like the engineer?
It depends. It depends. At first, I was. At first, it was just me. So I knew I could quit the pizza thing when I had like weeks booked out, like 3 sessions a day, like 12 to 3, 3 to 6,
Good
6
for you.
to 10 every day for 3 months straight, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. That's when I was like, this shit is real as fuck. Because then it was just like, okay, whatever I'm doing is working for growth. You know, I'm not where I want to be at. I don't know how many placements with Lil Baby or whatever, but I had 0 customers yesterday, and today I have 4. And then a month later, it's like I can't even fit people in the schedule. So what do? You go up on the price. You know what I'm saying? Like, the supply and demand has to be close. And that's what a lot of like rookie producers don't understand. Like, you have no demand, so your price is going to be low. And if you put a high price, people are going to laugh at you because you're not in demand. Like, when I'm bumming around and I have nothing to do, I'll do free mixes for people. I'll do a master for $5, bro. What else am I doing? I'm sitting on my ass just like waiting for work to come through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I do a free mix for somebody, now they get value. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The thing I've been kind of like sharing with my team, my clients, my friends, just you have to provide overwhelming value when you come through, either on a personal thing or a business thing. Like, you have to go over the top, because the person's going to remember, like, oh, that dude was low-key cool. Like, gave me such a good deal, right? And then, like, it just, like, you have to start off on the right foot. And then that compounding over everybody you meet in every situation just opens more doors. I might do a free mix for you today, but when I'm busy next week, it's not going to be free. So I just earned myself $75, $100 next week.
So I'm curious on something. Because I think I'm just gonna ask a question. Not gonna say what
Go
I think
for
first.
it. I'm an open book, dude.
So overall, general human nature question.
Love it.
Do you think people are like good at heart, and do you trust people?
I always give people the benefit of the doubt because I find that like that question is very nuanced. It's always like it depends. It depends where they came from. It depends where you are right now, and it depends like what's about to happen in 10 minutes. Like if you're a gangster ass dude, right? Doesn't mean you're gonna rob me, right? It definitely means you're not gonna rob me if you're in my studio with a bunch of your friends who all go to this studio. It's just not gonna happen, dude. You'd fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's why I haven't gotten like robbed or stolen from or anything, but the one time it did happen, my buddy's moped got stolen from the driveway of our studio.
Wow.
It was just sitting there. Dude just stole it. He just like kickstarted it or whatever, right? But the dude who booked the session, we're very good friends with. So we just called him up. We're like, bro, this dude just stole our moped. He's like, are you kidding me? Hold on, bro. And he called him up. He was like, give me 2 seconds, bro. He called the dude up, and then he called us back. He's like, bro, I'm sorry. It's going to be at the end of your street in like a couple hours, bro. Just go grab it. And it was. That was literally the only issue we've ever had in 8 years. And it just like resolved itself because it was just a misunderstanding. Like, no, dude, you're here because we're cool with all your boys, and we just all trust each other. We're all here for the same mission. Like, you come in here on some weird shit, you're gonna get pushed out. It's not
you're
like
the weird one.
It's not like my bridge is gonna get burnt, bro.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's here because they fuck with what we're doing.
Yeah.
You're the one who's gonna burn the bridge because what, you wanted a moped, bro? Like,
yeah, moped.
what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
That's like robbing the public library. Like, bro, what are you really gonna gain from
Get a
that?
library card. just get a bike.
On,
get yourself a bike.
Come on, dude.
It's true. Yeah, we're gonna do the build a superhero.
Okay.
Segment here. So this segment, I'm gonna give you. I think I have 4 categories here of things you need to do to build yourself as a superhero. If you were a superhero, you already have your backstory. Like you've grown up. I'm gonna need 5 things out of you.
Okay.
Your powers.
Okay.
Your weaknesses.
Okay.
Your costume.
I love this, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your costume.
Okay.
Your sidekick.
Okay.
And how you got those powers. We'll start with powers. What are your superhero powers?
Infinite longevity. Like, just live
stamina.
forever.
Stamina.
Just want to live forever, bro.
Live forever. Would you want to live forever, though?
If I was in good health.
Could you decide to kill yourself at some point?
Ideally.
Okay, so that's part of the deal. Okay, so you have, what is that word?
Longevity.
Like, invincibility?
I'm not even saying I want to be invincible because fear of death and fear of injury is an important part of the human experience.
So just like extreme longevity.
Just like, like given no external, like, happenings, like I just live forever. Like, I just don't die of old age.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's basically,
if I get hit by a car, I'm dying.
It's like living 1,000. You have a 1,000-year lifespan. That's the power.
Even more, bro. Because I want to
20,000-year lifespan.
I'm down. As long as my kidneys aren't failing and my skin is rotting off, like my eyes are, you know what I'm saying? If I'm in good health, I'll live forever because I love learning.
All right,
and like
cool.
Just new experiences.
Hey,
like,
just so you know, though, a lot comes with that.
Oh, I'm hip. You have to lose all your loved ones and shit.
A lot
I
of
know.
people. You'll lose people,
but I will learn
10 times over.
I will learn from that.
So I feel like for something like that, and you know what I might do? So because I added a couple other things, I'm gonna give it to 5. I'm gonna get rid of weaknesses because like, who wants to talk about the weaknesses?
Oh, we talked about it, bro. You have to lose everything.
Yeah, I think that each power comes with its own thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of inherent. It's inherent in the power. I feel like super strong, you gotta be very gentle. You know, it's like stuff like that.
I feel like this superhero only appeals to me. I feel like people wouldn't really like.
You'd be shocked though. I feel like the way you described it, I think it appeals to me now because I'm like, oh, I'd be able to learn everything, like, or not learn everything.
Pretty fun. Like, you can watch every movie ever, read every book
like there's
ever.
no bounds. Yeah. The bounds are gone. You know, like any days don't matter. Like, you know, days already like. Time is so strange.
It really
is. It's hard to conceptualize at all. And then when you're really young, you have no concept of it, and that's the most fun time of your life. And the older you get, the more time becomes obvious, and the less fun it becomes. So I feel like if time was really, if you were always in an infancy, because there is no finiteness to it, then it would all be fun. It would just be like you're a child. Yeah. All the time.
The funnest, 3 months, 4 months of anybody's life is the first summer vacation.
Totally.
Because you don't know how long it is. You're just like, I was in school, now I'm not in school.
And it feels like
holy shit.
Costume.
Okay, if I don't have the costume on, do I still have my powers or no?
You still have your powers, but when you do interviews, because people want to interview you. Let's be real. You're an icon in the world if you're living that long. So what is your thing? What are you wearing when you're on these interviews? When you go on these tours, these talks, when you're doing all these different lifestyles, maybe what's the color scheme you stick with, stuff like that.
Dude, I think it's got to be the sandals. I don't have my sandals today,
sandals.
Bro, I'm kind of known for not wearing shoes.
Really?
Not barefoot, like a sicko, but no, I've been wearing just sandals for the past 6-7 years.
Jesus
yeah,
That's
the leather,
That's really sick.
Yeah, the Sperry's.
How about a sidekick? What's your sidekick through all this? You could give them infinite life too. Screw it.
That's true.
Let's just say you could do that. They have that same power.
Sidekick. If I had a sidekick, they would definitely need to have a complementing power. I don't think they could have the same one as me. Well, they could, but they'd have to have something to
What if I got you a little bit. What if they were regenerative?
Oh.
They'd have to be reborn. So it's not necessarily.
See, that makes sense.
Because they're not doing the same thing. So you'd have to raise this person up to. And
you ever seen Doctor Who?
No, but I know the concept. So
he's got a companion that dies, and he has to find a new companion every time.
It's kind of like that, but this is you, or maybe they exist. You have to go find them every time.
Okay.
Or something like that, or maybe you kind of morph them into the person you want. You kind of live your life based on their life scale. So say they live to 65 years of your life. You're a musician, and he's your bass player.
Oh.
But then when he dies, sprouts again. You're all right, we're gonna become botanists, and you go and get him, and you make a garden.
Dude, I feel do you know Rudy Wade?
Rudy Wade.
Rudy Wade is he was the first person I ever hired as an assistant for MASTR.Productions. Really? He was my first recording engineer. Absolute beast. He basically he didn't drop out of college. He just straight up never went. Just told people he was going to college and just never went.
That's kind of hard.
Yeah. And then he just he got his dad to basically be yeah, sure, dude, just go be a recording engineer for this dude. We've never met. Just wing it. Sure. Do it. I feel right now, if this is my first iteration of foreverness, I think Rudy Wade's my sidekick.
He was your guy that was
low key right now.
Sent to help you. And you would help him as well.
Yeah.
That's a sick. Hey, I hope he sees that because that's beautiful.
I mean, I think he will.
That's
I'll
beautiful.
tag him in the snippet.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
All right, last one. How did you obtain these powers?
I was wearing headphones and an electrical storm power surged the grid and
into your brain.
Into my brain. It shorted some shit and it infinitely allowed my telomeres to regenerate infinitely. So I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a fucking genius.
That's how it happened.
That's how it would have to happen.
Yeah. I didn't make that up. That part's actually true. It happened.
This is all real. You're I don't know, random power. Let me think. It's
yeah, let me think something up real quick.
It's all real.
You notice that one came quicker than the other.
Yeah,
answers.
right. Yeah, so that's your superhero. This will kind of be the last thing we talk about. Then,
yeah.
Then we can wrap up here.
Yeah.
But I feel you obviously, with what you do and just with these types of stories, it seems you're very often fixing something or making something better, finding the problem and solving it. So do you feel would you consider yourself a creative person? Do you create things as well?
Yeah.
Or is that really the itch you're scratching?
No, I definitely create. Yeah.
Do you make your own beats?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I make my own beats. They've gotten better over the years. I would say before it was 1 out of every 30 beats would be pretty good. And then it's just hard, bro, because You be in a certain vibe, like it's 3 a.m., you're off like 5 Red Bulls, you just smoked 2 fat-ass blunts and did like 3 shots. Sure, that whack melody is going to sound really dope. Like that weird-ass reverse guitar.
You get into it the next day and you're like...
Yeah, you're like... You go to like play beat for somebody, they're like, yo, what do you got for beats? Oh, dude, I got a whole folder of dope beats. You're like, doop. And it's like, oh, that one's not good. Hold on, let me skip that. Next beat. Next one's just like even worse. You're like... Maybe I'm not that good at making beats.
Like, let me show you this one old one that I already sold, but it's really good. I know this one's good and it was reliable.
Yeah.
So what beat makers or mixers, you're not mixers or beat makers out there, but what songs really are you in awe of since you know the process of it so much? Like famous songs, I guess.
Dude, I don't listen to much music.
That is... See...
Dude...
Go.
I like pizza as a analogy builder. Okay. If I work in a pizza shop and I'm making pizza every day, when I go on vacation, I'm not gonna go get pizza. I'm gonna get something else.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the studio for 12 hours a day helping people make songs, when I hop in the car, I'm not turning on the radio. I'm not turning on any music.
Podcasts?
Nothing.
Really?
Dead silence, because I love to think about shit and chew on shit without like some ad popping in like, are you sick of your countertops being like not clean? Bounty can help you. Like, bro, I don't want that in my head. Fuck off. Like, I'd rather drive in silence and think like, man, that first artist I recorded today is getting so much better. Like, I remember the first time he came in, he was trash. Now like shit kind of fucking smacks. Like, oh, yeah, and I used to, like, do this mix thing. Now I started doing that. Now that has been working way better lately. Like,
oh, really? So you won't listen to music?
It's wasted. Oh, well, not that I won't listen to music. It's just, like, not my go-to of, like, okay, I got a breather in the schedule. Like, I'm not just going to sit down and listen to an album. Like, that to me is just, like, I got way better things to do right now. Like,
that's so fun.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm on a road trip, hell yeah. Like, I'll queue up, like, 7 hours worth of music, like, back to back. Like, no problem. But it's like, if I have 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, I'm not just going to, like, let me disconnect and put on some Tory Lanez for a bit. Like, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I used to do that.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, to get inspired, like, oh, word, like, I'm trying to mix vocals and make them sound good. Like, why does everybody tell me my vocals sound like shit? And then it's like, I'll put on my song, I'll put on a real song. It's like, oh, that's why, because they do sound like shit. But then it's a learning thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not so much listening to music, it's like trying to learn from the music.
Dude, the last period of my life where I was actively listening to music and, like, seeking new music just to sit there and listen to music for 3 hours was when I was really into jazz.
Jazz?
Like, yeah, end of my college career.
Well, because you got to go find jazz. Jazz ain't going to find you. You got to go find the jazz.
Depends where you are. You'd be surprised. In Vermont, it's hard to escape jazz.
Really?
It's everywhere.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is actually really cool. Vermont. And, like, jazz has a very, like, negative, corny connotation. In, like,
I fuck with jazz heavy.
Dude, jazz just means you took something to its, like academic peak. Like, there's no jazz players who are, like, renowned jazz players who are, like, shitty musicians. They all got nasty at playing scales and, like, improvising and, like...
And they're so good that, like, making something and looping to them is, like, it's criminal. It seems like it's like...
Pretty much. It's
like,
just boring.
Like, to them, it's like, it's not even music, you know?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, jazz is, like...
Jazz is
bro,
cool
there's rock-type jazz songs. There's funk-type jazz songs. Bro, there's rap that's jazz. It's just, like... It's such a weird box to put things in. It's not... I don't know. I think eventually Kanye will, like, probably identify as a jazz musician.
Probably.
Like, way down the line.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think, is Kanye one of your favorites?
Nah, I just like that one album called Life of Pablo.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was when I first got exposed to Chance the Rapper. He's, like, the first song on there. I love all the gospel aspects from there.
Yes.
And I like Designer.
Designer's
cool. On there, yeah.
I thought that was a cool idea to, like, instead of paying whatever to Future,
yeah,
be like, dude, you're not that special. Here we go. And then
is that what it was?
Designer. Pretty much. because he sounds a lot like Future on the song. The song was made for Future, for sure. I can tell you that with like every ounce of my body. And I think that with that in mind, he was like, all right, you know what? Who needs him? Like, I'll just grab this kid. It doesn't matter. Like, as long it's the sound I'm looking for, not the name. And he's always been like that. It's always been the sound over the name.
You know, Designer still makes fire music.
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah.
I actually really like some of what Designer.
I wish he'd come back to like mainstream eye.
I feel that way about
pretty talented.
Fetty Wap.
Yeah.
Fetty Wap made some pretty cool like R&B cuts.
Yeah.
After.
I think he just got too repetitive.
Yeah, especially with his. I also think he took too long between.
Yeah.
His first pop.
Yeah.
And
popped
the next
in like
pop.
2014, 2015, and then he did nothing.
He didn't do anything.
Trap Queen, and then what?
Yeah, like there was like that album was good.
Trash.
Just
it was
good.
In my opinion,
it was good.
Nah, every song's the same. I didn't like it.
True. That's true.
I didn't like it personally. You're entitled to your own opinion on.
No, but it was repetitive. But so I don't think we're not disagreeing. What I think is happening is I the way I am, I like Gunna. Okay. I like what's another thing that's mad repetitive? There's a lot of shit like this. It's Gunna's the best example because he's so repetitive.
Yeah,
but I like that sound.
Yeah.
It's like I like the one, so I like them all. That's kind of one of those things. It's
that's
like it's repetitive, but I like it.
Yeah.
So it's like but and then that's the same reason why if I played someone a Gunna song and they didn't like the first one, I'd be like, don't listen to Gunna because you're not gonna like any of the other shit.
No bullshit.
It's all the same. And then some people don't like repetition, so then they're out after the first two songs.
I wrote about that in my book actually.
Really?
I have a book called Secrets of the DAW. Secrets of the Digital Audio Workstation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an ebook. It's available on my website for $14.99.
Oh, let's go.
First chapter is free for download.
Let's bust out that book right now. Let's go.
But one of the key elements of the book is concentrating on variations and change in music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the old trick of like do things 4 times, 3 times the same way, and the last one you change it up. Like shit like that.
Yeah.
Is so basic, but it's like the foundation of just like being entertaining, like switching it up. Like,
what's that book called again?
Secrets of the DAW.
Secrets of the DAW.
DAW. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
DAWs are like Pro Tools, Ableton, FL. Yeah.
So I think, and honestly, we're getting towards wrap up time.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
This is what we're gonna do. I want you to just say your handles, like social media stuff to look forward to for people. Maybe like anything you want to just get out to people.
Yep.
And then that's about it actually. Just your handles and then something you want to say or promote to people.
Got you.
Work coming up.
My main handle for like my socials is my Instagram, MASTR.Productions. MASTR.Productions was taken, motherfucker.
We'll get him. So.
Yeah, he's probably receiving so many emails and cash apps over the years.
Yeah.
People typing the name in wrong. But MASTR.Productions on IG. Don't worry about Twitter and all that. It's all trash. I'm not even on there.
Right.
I am. I never post on there.
Not frequently.
What else was I about to say?
What is some work you got lined up or something that you're excited about or what people should know?
Right now, I'm excited about building in LA. So I just, by the time this comes out, I'll already be back in LA, but I just visited Boston for a week. Had some fantastic sessions in Lynn at Black Box Studio. Saw a whole bunch of people, caught up with everybody. Made some absolute bangers. We were really productive over there. I mean, we were in there 13 hours a day the past couple days. Just like 12 to like 3 a.m. like all day. And it was a good time. Like that's what I'm here for. I didn't have any like personal business on this trip. It's literally come back here and record with all my favorite artists from the East Coast.
That's awesome.
So it was lit. It was a huge success. Planning on doing it every 2-3 months or so. Just when it's right, you know, because I still want to build my LA stuff. I'm going to continue networking out there. But I don't know. In the next 5 years, I hope that I can do what I'm doing in Boston, in Miami, Atlanta, LA, Dallas probably.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it would be really cool. It's definitely possible. It's going to take a team effort. It's going to take some focus of like, this is the goal, chip away at it every day, you know? Cause
for sure.
It's just a matter of having 10, 20 people who are down to lock in. You know, It's not that hard. But I think I'm providing a lot of value, and I think everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, and if you need someone to mix your shit,
Yeah, if you need somebody to
studio
mix your
time?
shit, I mean...
If you're out in LA, too?
I have an email address, and that email address accepts stems and beats. So if you want to send a package of stems and beats with a $75 Cash App, you may or may not receive a fully mixed song within the next 48 to 72 hours.
That'd be incredible.
That's just what I heard through the grapevine.
That's what I heard, too.
People are doing it, and they're achieving incredible results.
The results are incredible.
Everybody
gay.
tells me it's the best results I've ever seen. Best music my ears have ever heard.
That's great, dude. All right, well, how was your time on the DOD-Cast, actually?
I would rate it a 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10?
12 out of 10.
Wow, that's 2 over the max.
I mean...
That's just how we do, though.
That's just how you do it. Anything less than that would be an injustice.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
It was a fantastic time.
Hey, I appreciate that. Hey,
yep.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, and everybody else at home, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all the nonsense. I appreciate you watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace.